Hi, my name is Beverly Sidlacek of Into His Rest Ministries, and this is my first video blog, and I'm excited to come to you with my musings. I am a talker, and my strength is in talking, and so I thought I would bring to you part two of Hope for Families, and I wanted to do it in the context of Oprah Winfrey's finale. After 25 years on TV, she brought her reign to an end last week. And before you turn me off, I want you to hear me out. I know there are some people who really don't agree with her, and as Christians, we shouldn't have listened to her. But I wanted to share with you some points that I thought were, as I've thought about her experience, her impact on me and many others in the world. I wanted to share the positive ones, and I'd like to run through them rather quickly here with you. First of all, relationships matter, and we're going to come back to that point later, but relationships matter, even those that are rocky and maybe unhealthy or dysfunctional, if you please, and especially as it relates to our parents. Oprah was not treated well as a child, as many of you may know, and yet in spite of that, she continues to support her parents, and I think that's an awesome testimony to relationships matter. And number two, I think we oftentimes, I know in our ministry, we're oftentimes looking at families and their impact upon us. And I think one of the positive influences that Oprah brought to bear on families is families may affect you, but they don't have to determine your future. I think that's wonderful, great news. We have a choice here, and so our families do not have to impact our future. And the third point I'd like to bring up is she opened a dialogue about subjects that family members found difficult to talk about, such as abuse, the impact of childhood abuse upon us, and that was really her focal point of her reign, that she loved talking about that, to highlight the impact of childhood abuse, whether that be physical, spiritual, sexual, or emotional abuse. She also talked about addictions and other dysfunctional family systems that had an impact upon us as individuals. And so she opened a dialogue about these very, very difficult subjects and gave us a platform in which to tell our stories. That's the fourth point. As I reflect over her 25 years on TV, many people had opportunity to share their story, but not only in sharing their stories, but also to embrace their stories. This is really my life, and to embrace this is the truth about my life. And so she gave us permission to own and wrap our minds around the story, and provided that platform in which to do so. And that goes along with number five, the positive influence that Oprah had in giving us permission to tell the truth about our stories. She invited us to stand in that truth, no matter what it was or how difficult it was. I think about to tell the truth about being sexually abused, or to tell the truth that I'm gay, to tell the truth that this is what actually happened to me. You know, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And so I think giving us permission to tell the truth, and she expanded upon this notion of truth, and it's not just for Christians, not just the religious dialogue, but also the truth about who we are. That was, I think, a really, really important part of what Oprah brought to bear positively on the family. Number six, she talked often about the subject of forgiveness, over and over. The necessity of forgiving those who hurt us were highlighted on her show. I love the quote she used. I wrote it down. It's a powerful quote. I hadn't thought of it this way, but forgiveness is about letting go of ever having the opportunity to change our past. And as I reflected on that statement, I realized that those people I had difficulty forgiving were those people that I really wanted to change. And even if they were to change today, it still would not have changed my past. And so we have a tape series, a CD series, and now a DVD on forgiveness, a fresh new take. And I think Oprah provided an opportunity for us to really look at the importance of forgiveness as we talk about families and family members. Number 7 on that last show, she quoted, she made this quote: "A common thread that runs through all of our pain is that of unworthiness, not feeling worthy enough to live the life we were created to live." And I love that quote because I think there's so much truth in that. God created us for something infinitely greater than what we now experience. And in light of the fact, as we stand in the truth about who we are and our experiences and where we are, as we do that, it will cause us to long for something greater, to long for even something great on this earth, and ultimately in our experience with living with Him. And so I'd like to add that we are unworthy. That's really true, but we are infinitely worth something because God emptied all of heaven for us. So whether you can relate to this or not, I want to highlight this point that our value and our worth, God demonstrated how important we are. And yes, we are not worthy, but certainly the pain that we experience, we can look up and understand that we have worth because God emptied heaven for us. And number 8 ties into this point of number 7, and that is of empowerment. Families were to teach us of our worth to God and to our parents. God intended our parents would show us our worth and our value, and then help us to see that God indeed valued and saw us worth something. And in that, standing in the truth of our worthiness, we would be empowered to go and change the world, to share what there is worth, and people have worth and have value, and that God thinks we are special. We are all that and a bag of chips. My life statement is, like my mission statement is, empowering people to make healthy choices in relationship. And in the context of that, I want to say again that whether you agree with Oprah or not, there are some positive impacts that she made on family, which would certainly provide hope for all of us. And in our next video, part 3, we're going to be talking about the eye salve that's necessary, as we look and see who we are, understand who we are. It ties into that notion that I mentioned at the very beginning: relationships matter. And in order to really see that, as we talk about that eye salve in part 3, hopefully we will understand that God wants us to see and to understand, and more importantly, to experience our worth and our value to change the world. That certainly is great news and provides hope for us. If you'd like more, I want to refer you to our website, www.intohisrest.org, and we have a blog there, and you will, if you look around the website, you'll see other valuable material there that you might be interested in. And remember, we want you to understand, to labor, and how to labor to enter into the rest that God gives for us.